The mailbox rattled when I pulled it open. Just another Tuesday. Bills. Ads. Nothing special. Then I saw it. A cream-colored envelope. Gold letters on the front. My hands went cold before I even opened it. You are invited to celebrate the wedding of Mira and Rajesh. I stood there. My chest tightened. My mind went blank. Mira. My Mira. 3 months. It had only been 3 months since she walked out of my life. I whispered to myself, this can't be real. But it was real. The date was printed right there. The venue. A 5-star hotel. Her name next to his. My hands started shaking. I sat down on the front steps of my apartment building. The card felt heavy, like a stone in my hands. My mind flew back to that night. The night she left. We were sitting in my small apartment. The paint was peeling on one wall. I never had money to fix it. She looked around the room like she was seeing it for the first time. I can't do this anymore, she said. Do what? I asked. My voice was shaking. This. Us. This life. She waved her hand at everything around her. You work so hard. But where is it getting us? I want more. Arjun. I want more than this. I'm trying, I said. Give me time. I'll make it better. She shook her head. Tears were in her eyes, but her voice was firm. Time won't fix this. You are a good man, but you can't give me the life I deserve. Those words, the life I deserve, they cut deeper than anything I had ever felt. I begged her that night. I actually begged. Please, Mira, I love you. Doesn't that mean something? Love isn't enough, she said. Not for me. Not anymore. And she walked out. Just like that. 2 years together. Gone in 5 minutes. Back then, I was nobody special. Just an engineer at a small company. Long hours. Small paycheck. I worked hard. But hard work doesn't always pay the bills fast enough. I loved her more than anything. I thought that was enough. I guess I was wrong. Now, sitting on these steps with her wedding card in my hands, all that pain came rushing back. Hey, man, you good? I looked up. My best friend Arjun was standing there, holding grocery bags, staring at me with worried eyes. You've been sitting here for like 10 minutes, he said, just staring at nothing. I couldn't speak. I just handed him the card. He read it. His face changed instantly. Wait, is this the same Mira? You're Mira. I nodded slowly. Man. He sat down next to me. I don't even know what to say. Neither did I, because deep down, I knew this wound was never really healed, and I had no idea it was about to open up all over again. Arjun left that night, but the memories didn't. They stayed with me. They pulled me back further, back to where it all began. I met Mira in college. Second year. Library, of all places. She was struggling with a project. I offered to help. She smiled at me and said, finally, someone who actually knows what they are doing. That smile. I fell for it instantly. We became inseparable after that. Study sessions turned into late-night talks. Late-night talks turned into love. I thought I found my person. My forever person. Then her father got sick. Really sick. Cancer. I was there every single day. I skipped classes to sit with her in hospital waiting rooms. I held her hand while she cried in hallways. Why are you doing all this? She asked me once, tears on her face. Because I love you, I said. And I love him too, like my own father. She looked at me like I was the only good thing left in her world. I don't know what I'd do without you, she whispered. I believed her. I believed we were forever. After graduation, I got a job as an engineer. Small company, small salary, but I worked hard. I told myself, this is just the beginning. Mira's family, though, they had different plans. Her mother would say things like, a girl like you deserves a husband who can give you everything. Her father, even sick, would say, I want to see you settled with someone successful before I go. Those words planted seeds. Seeds of doubt. Seeds that grew quietly, month after month. I didn't see it happening. I was too busy loving her to notice she was slipping away. Money became a constant topic between us. Why can't we go to that restaurant? She'd ask. I'm saving up, I'd say. For us. For our future. Our future feels very far away, she'd reply, looking out the window instead of at me. I didn't understand back then. I thought love was patient. I thought love could wait. I was wrong. The night she left, her words were like knives. Calm knives. Calculated knives. You are a good man, she said. But good isn't enough anymore. 2 years of love, of hospital visits, of shared dreams, erased in one cold sentence. After she left, I called my mother, Sunita. My voice was breaking. Beta, what happened? She asked, worry thick in her voice. She left me, Ma, I said. She said I can't give her the life she deserves. There was silence on the phone. Then my mother said softly, her loss, my son, not yours. But her words didn't fix anything. Nothing could fix the hole in my chest. I stopped going out with friends. I stopped playing football on weekends, something I loved since childhood. I stopped answering calls. My mother tried everything. Come eat dinner with me, she'd say. Not hungry, Ma. I'd answer, staring at my phone, hoping for a message that never came. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into a blur. I didn't know it then, but I was disappearing into myself. And I had no idea just how deep that darkness would pull me. Weeks passed, and I kept sinking. I started drinking. Not much at first. A beer after work. Then two. Then it became a bottle of whiskey on weeknights. I missed meetings. I showed up late. Sometimes I didn't show up at all. My boss called me into his office one afternoon. What is going on with you? He asked, frustration clear on his face. You used to be one of my best engineers. Now you're barely here. I'm sorry, I mumbled. I'll do better. But I didn't. I couldn't. My mind was still stuck on that night. On her words. On the wedding card I now kept hidden in a drawer. I stopped answering Arjun's calls too. I isolated myself completely. Then one evening, there was a knock on my door. I almost didn't answer it. It was Mr. Connor. I used to work with him years ago on a small project for his company. He was retired now, but sharp as ever. Kind eyes. Firm voice. You look terrible, he said, stepping inside without waiting for an invitation. Thanks, I muttered. Great to see you too. He looked around my messy apartment. Empty bottles. Dirty dishes. Curtains close in the middle of the day. This isn't you, he said quietly. I remember the boy who solved problems no one else could. Where's he? He's gone, I said bitterly. She took him with her. Mr. Connor sat down across from me. Listen to me, he said. Heartbreak is real. Pain is real. But you cannot let one person decide your whole future. It's not that simple, I said. It never is, he replied. But I have an offer for you. I looked up, confused. I'm starting a new company, he said. Technology. Innovation. I need a co-founder. Someone smart. Someone who understands both the tech and the heart of the business. Me. I laughed bitterly. Look at me. I can't even hold my current job together. I'm not looking at the man in front of me, he said firmly. I'm looking at the man I know is still in there. I stayed silent for a long moment. Why me? I finally asked. Because I've seen you work, he said. You have something most people don't. Passion. Even now, buried under all this pain, it's still there. Something in his voice made me believe him, even when I didn't believe in myself. Okay, I said slowly. I'll try. Good, he said, standing up. Because failure isn't an option starting tomorrow. The first months were brutal. Sleepless nights became normal. I worked until 3, 4 in the morning, building, coding, fixing, failing, trying again. This isn't working, I said one night, staring at a broken system on my screen. Mr. Connor, still awake despite his age, replied calmly, then fix it. Again. Slowly. Without realizing it, something inside me began to shift. I wasn't thinking about Mira every hour anymore. I was thinking about deadlines, about code, about building something real. For the first time in months, I felt something other than pain. I felt purpose. And that was only the beginning. 3 years. 3 years can change a man completely, if he lets it. Our startup, the one Mr. Connor believed in when I couldn't believe in myself, started growing. Slowly at first, then faster than I ever imagined. We just landed our biggest client yet, Mr. Connor said one morning, a rare smile on his face. How big? I asked. Big enough that I think it's time, he said. Time for what? Time for you to become CEO. I stared at him, stunned. Me? I thought you. I'm retiring, remember, he said, laughing. I told you from day one. I needed someone to carry this forward. That someone is you. My hands were shaking when I signed those papers. Not from fear this time. From pride. The broken man who once sat drunk in a messy apartment was gone. In his place stood someone new. Someone strong. The company grew fast after that. New offices. New clients. Financial independence I once only dreamed about. I bought my mother a proper house. I still remember her face when I handed her the keys. Beta, she said, tears in her eyes, you did this. All by yourself. No, Ma, I said. You never gave up on me. That's why I made it. During this time, I met Priya. She joined our company as head of operations. Sharp mind, sharper wit. She challenged me in meetings, pushed me to think bigger. You're wrong about this strategy, she said bluntly during one meeting. Excuse me, I said, half shocked, half impressed. You heard me, she said, smiling slightly. Trust me, my way is better. She was right. Almost every time. Slowly, without either of us realizing it, she became more than a colleague. She became someone I trusted completely. Late nights working on projects turned into late-night conversations about life. You never talk about your past, she said one evening, sipping coffee across from me. Not much to tell, I said, guarded as always. I don't believe that, she said softly, but I won't push. I appreciated that about her. She never pushed. She just stayed, quietly present, like a steady light in my life. I wasn't ready for love again. Not fully, but her presence gave me comfort I hadn't felt in years. Then one day, an old college friend mentioned something in passing. Did you hear about Meera? He asked casually. Word is her marriage isn't going well. Rajesh keeps her on a tight leash. Barely lets her see anyone. My chest tightened for a second. Old memories flickered. That's not my problem anymore, I said firmly, pushing the thought away. I told myself I meant it. I told myself the wound was finally closed. But deep down, some small part of me wondered if the past was truly finished with me. I had no idea just how soon I would find out. The gala was one of the biggest events of the year. Business leaders, investors, everyone who mattered in the industry. I stood there in a tailored suit, holding a glass of champagne, feeling like a completely different man than the one from 3 years ago. Great turnout tonight, Arjun said, standing beside me. He worked with our company now, handling marketing. Yeah, I said, scanning the room. Big night. Then I saw her. Across the room, near the entrance, stood Meera. My whole body went still. She looked different. Thinner, tired eyes, even with her makeup perfectly done. A designer dress that probably cost more than my old apartment's rent. But somehow, she looked smaller. Faded, like a candle burning too low. Isn't that? Arjun started, following my gaze. Yeah, I said quietly. That's her. Meera's eyes met mine from across the room. For a moment, neither of us moved. Then, slowly, she started walking toward me. Hey, Arjun whispered, you don't have to talk to her. It's fine, I said, though my heart was pounding. She stopped in front of me, staring like she was seeing a ghost. I didn't know you'd be here, she said, her voice shaky. I own this company now, I said simply. Her eyes widened. You're the CEO everyone's been talking about. That's me, I said. She looked me up and down, disbelief written all over her face. You look different, she said softly. Successful, confident. Time changes people, I said. An awkward silence fell between us. Where's Rajesh? I asked, glancing around. Her face tightened. His, traveling. Again. Business trip in Singapore. Again. I asked. She let out a bitter laugh. Is always traveling. Or in meetings. Or busy with something more important than me. I stayed quiet, unsure what to say. Can we talk? She asked suddenly. Some way quieter. I hesitated. Arjun shot me a warning look. Man, he whispered, don't. But something in her eyes, something desperate and broken, pulled at me. Just for a minute, I said. We walked to a quiet corner near the balcony. You have everything now, she said, looking out at the city lights. The success. The confidence. Everything I thought I wanted for us. You left before finding out if I could build it, I said, my voice steady but firm. She flinched. I know that now. What do you mean? I asked. She turned to face me, tears filling her eyes. My marriage isn't what I thought it would be, she whispered. Rajesh gives me money. Big houses. Expensive things. But he doesn't give me anything real. No conversations. No warmth. Just transactions. I felt something twist inside me. Not joy. Not satisfaction. Just sadness. I'm sorry to hear that, I said carefully. I chose money over love, she said, her voice breaking. And now I have money, but no love at all. I'm so alone, every single day. I didn't know what to say. I made the biggest mistake of my life, she whispered. And I regret it more than you could ever know. Across the room, I saw Arjun watching us carefully, his face tense with worry. I felt something dangerous stirring inside me. Old feelings, old wounds threatening to reopen. But what happened next shocked me. Mira reached out and gently touched my hand. I still think about you, she said softly. Every single day. I pulled my hand back slowly, my heart racing with confusion. I wasn't ready for what she said next. The call started the next day. I stayed at my phone, seeing her name flash on the screen. Mira. I let it ring out the first time. Then a message came. Please, I just need to talk. One coffee. That's all I'm asking. I sat there, staring at those words for a long time. Don't do it. Arjun's voice echoed in my head from the gala. But something in me, some old wound that never fully healed, made me type back. Fine. One coffee. We met at a quiet cafe downtown, away from prying eyes. She looked even more tired than before. No makeup this time. Just raw, tired eyes. Thank you for coming, she said softly. Talk, I said, keeping my voice steady. What's going on? She wrapped her hands around her coffee cup, staring down at it. Rajesh never loved me, she said quietly. He married me because I looked good next to him. Good for his image. Good for business dinners. Mira. Let me finish, she said, her voice trembling. He controls everything. My credit cards, my bank account, even my phone bills. I can't buy a coffee without him seeing it on some statement. That's not a marriage, I said. That's a cage. Exactly, she whispered, tears falling now. A golden cage. Beautiful from the outside, suffocating on the inside. What about your family? Your friends? He doesn't like them around, she said bitterly. Says they are a bad influence. Slowly, I stopped seeing everyone. Now it's just me, alone in a big empty house. I felt sadness pulling at me, but also caution. I chose this, she said, wiping her tears. I chose money over love, over you, and now I have all the money in the world, but I have nothing real. I'm sorry you're going through this, I said carefully, but I can't fix it for you. I know, she whispered. I needed someone to understand. That night, I told my mother everything. Beta, be careful, she said, her voice firm. People who hurt you once can find new ways to hurt you again. She's just struggling, Ma, I said. Maybe, my mother said. Or maybe she's struggling and looking for an easy escape. Don't confuse pity with love. Her words stayed with me. The next day at work, Priya noticed something was different about me. You've been distracted lately, she said, sitting across from my desk. Just a lot on my mind, I said. Is it her? She asked quietly. Mira. I froze. How did you? I heard rumors from the gala, she said, her voice careful. I wasn't going to say anything, but... She paused, looking down at her hands. I care about you, she said softly. More than just as a colleague. I have for a while now. My heart skipped. I wasn't ready for what she said next. I won't compete with old feelings, Priya continued, standing up slowly. But I need you to be honest with yourself about what you really want. She walked away, leaving me sitting there, completely torn between the past and something new that could have been my future. That was a moment everything changed. 3 days after Priya walked away from my desk, my office door burst open. Mira stood there, mascara running down her face, breathing heavy like she had run all the way from the elevator. I can't do this anymore, she said, her voice breaking. I can't pretend everything is fine. Mira, you can't just show up here, I said, standing up from my desk. Please, she said, walking closer. Just listen to me. Please. I sighed, my heart pounding. Fine. Talk. I made a mistake, she said, tears streaming down her face. The biggest mistake of my life. I chose money over you, over us, and I regret it every single day. Every single day. I wake up wishing I had chosen differently. Mira, I still love you, she said desperately. I never stopped. Please, give me another chance. We can start over. I'll leave Rajesh. I'll leave everything. I stood there, feeling something break open inside me. Not love. Something else. Something raw and long buried. Do you know what those 2 years after you left were like for me? I asked, my voice shaking with emotion. She stayed at me, silent. I drank myself into oblivion, I said. I almost lost my job. I almost lost myself completely. I sat in a dark apartment, wondering what was wrong with me, wondering why I wasn't good enough. I didn't know. You didn't ask, I said sharply. You just left. You said I couldn't give you the life you deserve, and then you walked away like I was nothing. I'm sorry, she whispered. Your sorry doesn't erase those years, I said. Your regret doesn't erase what I went through to become who I am today. She flinched at my words, tears falling harder. I'm not the same broken man you left, I continued. I healed. I built something real. I found people who value me for me, not for what I can give them. Please, she begged, I just want another chance. I'm not your escape route, I said firmly. I'm not here to fix the mistake you made. That's not love, Mira. That's convenience. At that moment, Arjun and Priya walked in, having heard the commotion from outside. Everything okay in here? Arjun asked, standing protectively near me. Priya's eyes met mine, steady and calm, silently reminding me I wasn't alone. Then, unexpectedly, another figure appeared in the doorway. Rajesh. Mira, he said coldly, so this is where you ran off to. Mira spun around, shocked. Rajesh, what are you doing here? Following you, obviously, he said bitterly. Did you really think I wouldn't find out about your little visits here? It's not what you think, Mira said desperately. Isn't it? Rajesh said, his voice sharp with resentment. You chose me for status. I chose you for image. We both got exactly what we deserved. A marriage built on nothing real. His words hung heavy in the room, exposing the ugly truth of their entire relationship. You're both suffering, I said quietly, because you built something on foundations that could never hold real happiness. Mira looked at me, then at Rajesh, then back at me, completely lost. I can't fix this for you, I said gently but firmly. Only you can fix this, by finally being honest with yourself. Rajesh turned and walked out without another word, leaving Mira standing alone, broken and exposed. Please, she whispered one last time, don't let me lose you completely. You already did, I said softly. A long time ago. I've just finally accepted it. I watched her walk out of my office, defeated, carrying the full weight of her own choices. That was the moment I finally felt free. Weeks passed after that day in my office. I threw myself back into work, back into my life, trying to leave that final confrontation behind me. Then one morning, Arjun rushed into my office, phone in hand. Have you seen the news? He asked, breathless. What news? I said, looking up from my laptop. Rajesh, he said. It's all over the business channels. He turned his phone toward me. Headlines flashed across the screen. Business tycoon Rajesh Malhotra accused of financial fraud. Investors demand investigation. My eyes widened. What happened? Turns out he's been manipulating company funds for years, Arjun said. Hiding money. Controlling everything, even outside his marriage. The scandal is massive. I sat back in my chair, absorbing the news. And Mira? I asked quietly. File for divorce, Arjun said. Public and messy. Everyone's talking about it. I felt something strange settle inside me. Not joy, not satisfaction, just quiet understanding. Karma has its own timeline, its own way of settling scores I never needed to settle myself. That evening, I sat with my mother, telling her everything. See, Beta, she said gently, some things fix themselves. You didn't need revenge. Life handled it for you. I know, Ma, I said. I just feel free, finally free from all of it. Later that week, I asked Priya to dinner. We sat at a quiet restaurant, candles flickering between us. I need to say something, I said, taking a deep breath. Okay, she said, watching me carefully. You knew me when I had nothing, I said. When I was just a broken man trying to rebuild his life. You valued me before any of this success. Before the company. Before the money. Her eyes softened, tears forming. I care about you, I continued. Not because you're convenient, or because you fit some idea of what I need. But because you're real. You've always been real. I've been waiting a long time to hear that, she whispered. Will you give me the chance to build something real with you? I asked. Something honest. She smiled, tears falling freely now. Yes. 1,000 times yes. 2 weeks later, walking out of that same restaurant with Priya's hand in mine, I saw her, Mira, sitting alone at a corner table, staring into a coffee cup that had probably gone cold hours ago. Her eyes lifted, meeting mine across the room. For a moment, Neither of us moved. She looked smaller than ever. Broken. Alone. Surrounded by the empty luxury she once chased so desperately. I saw regret etched permanently into her face. A regret that would probably follow her for the rest of her life. I didn't feel anger anymore. I didn't feel the need for revenge. I simply nodded once, a quiet acknowledgement of everything we once were, and everything we could never be again. Then I turned and walked out with Priya, into a future built on something real. Looking back now, I understand something important. Mira chose money over love, and that choice became her prison. I chose to heal, to grow, to build something real, and that choice became my freedom. If you're out there tonight, feeling broken because someone chose comfort over you, chose money over your heart, remember this. Your worth was never defined by their choice. Sometimes, walking away isn't losing. Sometimes, walking away is exactly how you win.